Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Oldies But Goodies Hop from How to Kill a Kit with Style, and I'm combining it with Kit Conspiracy today. I don't normally play along with How to Kill a Kit with Style because I don't normally do kits for each month, but I thought it would be really fun to play this month because I am using 4 different kits, one for each week, so I thought it would be the perfect time to play along. And maybe I'll be playing along a little bit more in the future. So that sounded like a lot of fun. And I am really only using, as far as oldies, I am using an old stencil and I'm using old photos. The rest of it is not that old. It's the Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Lakeside, which is my kit for this week. And I have had it just, I don't know, a few months, maybe like July or something like that was when I got it. So it's not super old, but I did want it for these particular photos of my son and their Boy Scout troop went camping up at this reservoir in California called Utica Reservoir. And I had taken my daughter and my niece to a concert up that way. And then we stayed overnight at their campsite with them for one of the nights. So the photo that is there that is really large is 12 inches wide by about 5 inches tall. And I printed that on my Canon Pro 100. So I printed it at home. It comes, I have some paper that's like 13 by 19 or A3 plus. And I printed 2 photos in that size. And then I printed about 3 4x6 photos. So really happy with it because it's just an overall view of the lake, and the scenery there is just to die for. It's so beautiful, and I really wanted to capture that without all of the boys in the photo. So this is actually a double page layout, or 2 single pages that are companion pages. You can look at it however you like. They don't meet in the middle, so there's nothing going across the 2 that says you have to keep them together, but they do match. So maybe a companion page is a better way to describe it. Most of the photos that I have printed are printed on my Canon Selfie, and I am just trying to figure out what photo I want to put in these 2 little frames here. And I thought about putting the one of my husband floating in the water there, but I decided not to use that. I'm going to end up using one that is more of the scenery and save that one for a different photo more about them playing in the water and jumping off of this huge rock. The huge rock, you can see the start of it on the right hand side there, and it just keeps going up and up and up, and they were able to jump from the top of it into the water. It was checked for safety and all of that good stuff, so nobody got hurt or anything. It's super deep right there, and there's nothing jutting out underneath that they would have been able to get hurt on. So you'll see more pictures of that rock in other photos if you continue watching my channel this week, because I'm working with these photos and this kit all week long. In case you're not familiar with Kit Conspiracy, it is something I do every year with MK Gunn over on her channel. Some assemblage required. I think we actually are doing it twice a year, so we do spring and fall, and each week we have a kit. We have matching kits, and then we see what we can do with them. This particular go around, our first week, we had matching photos as well because we took photos at an event we were at together, but most of the time we use our own photos that are not matching, but we have the same kits, and it's always fun to see how we use them differently because we have very different styles. So if you are visiting my channel from the How to Kill a Kit with Style Hop, and you're not familiar with my channel, this is something I do a couple of times a year. So I would on that same note, I would love for you to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, if you're not already subscribed. So basically, I am using this large sticker border across the bottom here. This is comes from a sticker border sheet from the Lakeside collection, and then it had these chipboard element pieces that you're supposed to like stack up together, and it came with a big blue doily on the background. It was just way too big. They're over 4 inches across, and that is just really big for me. I don't normally use embellishments that start out that big, especially when it's a piece of chipboard, and you know, it's a little hard to tuck chipboard underneath your photo or anything like that. So I definitely just cut the boat and the leaves out, and I like it a lot better. I am going to go through and use a file just to file down the edges of that chipboard that are a little bit rough and finish it off. Or I guess maybe I've already done that. So if you've ever cut large amounts of chipboard, you know that you can get some jagged edges. And so just to kind of clean it up a little bit, that's what I did. And then I am using this border strip. And I am actually not using a ton of the paper on this particular layout because I knew I wanted to use some mixed media to bring in those colors. And I have a lot of photos, you guys. Like, I think I started with 50 something photos, and there's no way I can get 50 something photos on a layout or on a done in a week on just like 7 layouts. Yeah, it might have been closer to 60. I don't know. It was a lot of photos, and I know 2 of them were these large photos. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that. So I know I have to use some white paper to back my photos or to be my base pages, and use the other paper to spread across the pages to make everything match. So they're not all going to be white layouts. If you watched yesterday, it was definitely not just a white layout, definitely some colors involved there. So, you know, stick with it if you are not somebody who just if you are not somebody who likes white backgrounds, stick with it, because I've got a couple that are not white backgrounds as well. But most of them are double page layouts just because, like I said, I had so many photos that I had to weed through. I think there were probably about 300 photos in this set, and I cut it down to about 50, and then I still had to weed through that because I just couldn't do it. There was just so many. You wouldn't see any backgrounds because they'd be covered with photos. So I did pop that entire banner down that's at the bottom of the photo. I popped that up onto some foam. I'm using Fun Foam from Walmart. It's adhesive on one side, and then I use my liquid glue, which is Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, to stick it down to my paper. And here I'm going to go ahead and work on my second page. I am going to bring in some more of that stenciling and to make it match. Originally I thought I would go with the photos in the 4 corners, but I do bring them down together to go across the center of the page. And I am going to weed out the one photo. It actually had a guy with a kayak in it and a dog, and he was not part of our group. So I kind of just decided to weed that out in order to fit these photos better and not worry about that, having that weird, not that he's a weird guy, but having a guy in it that is not part of the group. So I did pull out some dies here. I will put links to these products down below, so if you're interested in purchasing any of them, you'll have the links available. I pulled out 2 different die sets to create my title. My title is just going to be Utica Reservoir. I will put a link also to the stencil here, which is called Mini Cell Theory, and it's from the Crafters Workshop. And then I'm using Speckled Egg and I think Gathered Twig. Nope, burlap. It's burlap. Yeah, those are the 2 colors that I'm using, frayed burlap and Speckled Egg, to create the pebble look here across my page. And I'm just using my ink applicators that are brushes because I just love those over stencils. I think they work a lot better than the foam applicators. They don't get caught up. This particular stencil doesn't have a lot of loose little bits and pieces, but some of my mixed media stencils do, and they snag on the foam applicators, and then my stencil gets bent. So the brush applicator is definitely my applicator of choice for this putting the ink through. So I used the same paper that I used the branding strip of on the left-hand page to create my title, but it doesn't show up very well on top of my photo. So I'm going to end up switching out my word Utica with a different paper, but I'm going to leave it for the word reservoir. I'm going to use this particular paper for to back my photos, and then the leftover bit of it I'm going to use to recreate the word Utica using the same font. And again, I will put the font or the die names down below with links so that you can get them if you are interested in that. And they are affiliate links, as it mentioned on the ticker that ran across the bottom of the video earlier. So I'm just going to go ahead and butt these right up to each other. I don't want them having any gaps. Sometimes I do like gaps, but in this particular case I decided not to. And I really like the wood grain. I wanted a little bit more of it to stick out than what would have if I had left a gap, because I only had a certain amount of it because I've already cut a card out of it. So, or I've already cut a piece out of it, I should say. And that was in order to make the title. So I didn't have a full sheet of it, so I'm just going with what I have. And now I'm trying to decide what part I think I'm going to take the title out of, and if I can get it out of the part that doesn't have the words over the top of it. And I do manage to do that. And what I'm doing here is I put the sticky side of the foam on the back of the pattern paper, and then I run my dies through my little sidekick. It's the Tim Holtz version of a Sizzix sidekick, and that's why it is the brown color. And I am cutting my alphas out of that. This particular alpha is from Pink Fresh Studio. It is a lowercase alpha with an outline. I'm leaving the outline intact right around the word. You could peel it off if you wanted to. If you cut it without the foam on it, the outline comes off really easily. With the foam, you kind of have to, you don't really have to work on it, but it stays a lot better if you don't want to peel it off. And then I just went through the ephemera pack, and I had this extra page elements pack there, and I pulled out that orange trim and an orange label, and I really like that, bringing the orange to the top and the bottom. And having those journaling cards up top is going to give me a place to go ahead and do a bunch of journaling. I don't do my journaling on camera for the most part, and so you're not going to get to see that. I'll do my still shots, and then I'll journal after my video is completely done. But I do journal on my pages. I don't just leave the journaling blank. This particular alpha, I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head, but again, I'll put the link below for you. It's a great alpha, especially if you're not using the foam. Using the foam makes it a little bit more difficult because it wants to bend and twist a little bit. But if you're just using pattern paper, it doesn't do that at all. And it's got a really good, it's big impact, even though it's a really fine font. But because it's so tall, it looks really cool. So my goal here was to pick two fonts that took up the same horizontal space on the page, but they were very different fonts and very different thicknesses. So I think I achieved that by choosing the Pink Fresh one, which is much thicker, and the fact that it's lowercase, and because it doesn't have any descenders on it, I can put that lowercase font there without having it bump into the word reservoir. And then choosing an uppercase font that doesn't have, it's all blocky. Everything reaches to the top line. I mean, there's no line on my paper, but if you were to write it on the old handwriting paper, it would reach from top to bottom all the way across. And I like the way that it looks. So hopefully that was explained okay there. I did decide to put this geotag right at the front because that is where we're at. We are at Utica Reservoir. And then I am pulling in some little foliage stickers, and I'm popping them up onto some foam that is going to go right up here at the top of this particular side of the layout. And then trying to figure out where I want each one of those journaling spots. I decided to switch the two because the one on the left hand side is the same paper that Reservoir is cut out of. So, which is this back side you can see right here. I love that paper. I wish there was 2 of those pieces of paper in this particular kit, but I only have 1, sadly. So I'm really liking the way that this is looking. I did decide I'm going to cut off the bottom of 2 of those journaling spots just so that I can keep those and maybe use them on another layout just to have them peeking out. And I think that works well to bring in the same colors to a different page. Now I did not pop that up onto foam. The orange piece is not popped up onto foam, but the piece that is over it is chipboard. So that is giving some more dimension to the page. And then I really like title work, so I am adding this little sticker to the title, and this piece of washi is, I don't know that it's actually washi, but it came in the sticker book and it feels like washi. I'm adding that in between the 2 words, and I really like the way that that is looking. I think it gives a lot of visual interest, and I think it's always a lot of fun if your title can actually be one of your embellishment spots, because it is you know, interesting and unique. So I am inking up the entire outside of the page with some black soot distress ink, and I'm going to go ahead and add the foam to the back of this particular piece. I guess that actually is not the chipboard piece. There's a chipboard one of those as well in this kit, so that is not the chipboard one, but it is up on foam just to give some added dimension. And then I am going to pretty much be calling it done, you guys. Actually, I'm going to add, I think, nope, that's it. I thought I was going to add some brads, but no, that's on a different page. There is a brad on the left-hand page there at the bottom of that banner piece. So that is it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out everyone else who is playing along with How to Kill a Kit with Style. All of the links are down below, and so that you can get to their channels easily or their videos easily. And don't forget to go check out what MK has done today if she's got anything going on for Kit Conspiracy. This is not our normal day to post. We post Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and anything extra is bonus for you. I'll see you guys again tomorrow with my other video. Bye-bye.